Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been quite a minute since I filmed my last video, and also it seems like you are very interested in Daniel Lee again because he changed the houses. Now he works for Burberry, and I have a video about his whole drama at Bottega, which is actually quite an interesting video. So if you want, you can check it out. Today's video was actually quite a spontaneous decision because of a conversation that I had with a friend of mine about the current state of fashion and the fact that now fashion does not produce anything new, and this new is just disguised as collabs. Bad to say that collabs are disguised as something new, where in reality it is not. It is boring, not interesting, it's the same thing. And then we went into a rabbit hole of the worst fashion collabs ever. And there is something I had no idea existed. And today I want to talk about the worst fashion collabs ever. Well, maybe not the worst, but definitely cursed collabs that shouldn't have existed in the first place. And when we talk about collabs, there are a few brands that inevitably just come to our mind. They are generally just cursed. All the time these brands come up with the things that just shouldn't leave the meeting room, probably. But nevertheless, there are 5 such companies for me personally, and they're the horsemen of fashion apocalypse. I feel that those are 5 companies that will ruin fashion or already destroying fashion. And hear me out. First of all, I know that there are 4 horsemen of apocalypse. We've got 1 extra, a bonus. And those companies are Balenciaga, Gucci, then Adidas, Supreme, and Fortnite. You may be wondering, what's Fortnite doing here? Well, we're going to get into it because they seem to love collaborating with fashion brands. And I think the most recent collab that actually sparked this whole discussion was the one of Fortnite with Ralph. And it was just look at it. How is it possible? Why do we see that in 2022? And I get it that Ralph Lauren is trying to play into young market and stuff, but he kind of gives, old money aesthetic, and also those sweaters with bears that look super cute and they can appeal to younger audience. And I see a lot of people on TikTok are wearing them. I see a lot of young people on the streets are wearing them. So why not stay there? Why do you need to collab with Fortnite as literally one of the biggest fashion designers in America? Why do you have to collab with Fortnite? That's the most confusing thing that happened to me recently. And plus, I'm really excited to see this collab, but I feel like we just live on a cursed timeline. But let's get into the rest of this collabs. And I think it's an honor to start with the queen of cringe collabs, and that's Balenciaga. And Balenciaga with Damna as creative director collabed with insane things. And my top 3 cringiest collabs are definitely Balenciaga and Fortnite. I don't know why that whole piece of video just disappeared from my camera roll. So basically my main problem with that collab is that, first of all, it was not even real. Only a few items were actually real, and that's a hoodie and a hat that was sold for over $1,000. But on Farfetch they cost over $1,000 now for a hoodie. I bet it was sold for less, like 600 or so, but it's still, hoodie's not worth that, especially a hoodie with just Fortnite logo on it. But also the clothes were released only in the game. So it is also confusing to me, probably because I'm old, but I'm not fully sold on the whole metaverse and virtual fashion yet. So yeah, didn't like that collab. Then Balenciaga and Simpsons which I don't think was a bad collab. I think it was very interesting, and plus the presentation and that cartoon in the theater hall, it was wonderful idea and it was iconic. You can't say anything about it. The clothes though, the clothes were not iconic. I struggle to remember a single piece because it was very like in between seasons Balenciaga, like it was about nothing, it gave nothing. So fashion-wise, it was not a great collab. About the idea, I think it was genuinely good. I don't think it was bad. I enjoyed the little cartoons. And the last one from Balenciaga is Balenciaga and Adidas, which again, I think that it could give, but actually no, I don't think it had a chance. I just feel like it's very odd collaboration because in reality nothing happened. They're just the same Adidas tracksuits but overpriced. So I don't really see the reason why would people buy that. And plus the bags, they look strange. I don't know, maybe there was a problem with marketing because I haven't really seen many people actually wearing Balenciaga and Adidas collab. So maybe that's the reason. Maybe if we see more influencers styling it or celebrities wearing it, then it would be a bit more cohesive. But for now, it's a big no for me. That shoot with Bella is cute though. And now let's talk about Gucci. So Gucci also had a fair share of awful collabs, and of course Gucci and Balenciaga is one of them. And here it's not even the issue that it's just two massive brands collaborating. It's boring, was plain not interesting, and basically looked like a merch. And I think that's the problem with the majority of collabs nowadays, is that they are mainly just looking like overpriced merch. And in reality, they don't have any idea behind them. So it kind of is ruining fashion, in my opinion. But I mean, I'll talk about it in a bit. But another collab that Gucci did that really confused me was Gucci and Xbox. Like, that was kind of a vibe, but that was weird to see. I don't hate it though, but it was funny. And of course, Gucci and Adidas, the same story as Balenciaga, don't see the point, gave nothing, was odd. I don't really see people actually wearing it. And I mean, Adidas, they really enjoy cringe collaborations. For example, the one that they did with Nat Flanders. But we have to understand that Adidas is a money machine. They are not a fashion house. They don't mean to bring any idea. All they do is just market their products and sell them as fast as they can and attract people. So I can't really hate them because they don't pretend like they have any idea behind the brand, to be honest. And the last collab from this 5 horsemen of fashion apocalypse is Supreme and Tiffany. I just don't see why. It just seems like a crossover that we didn't really need. And the collab itself also, it gave nothing. It wasn't interesting. And people spoke about it for like a week, not even a week. I feel it was like a few days on social media, then it was gone, and I've never seen anybody wear it. I've never seen anybody talk about it. However, I do respect Supreme for their talent for collaborations, because the collab of Supreme with Louis Vuitton was genuinely iconic. I feel like that's what Gucci and North Face wanted to be when they collabed, and like Gucci and Balenciaga wanted to be, but it just didn't give that. But I think you can think whatever you want about the way the clothes looked. For example, some of the shoes were absolutely awful and some of the clothes didn't look good, but you can't deny that it was iconic. And I mean, it was iconic, judging even by the amount of fakes and replicas you can see around. In my little town in Ukraine, I saw people in my school wearing replicas of that collab. So that's how I know that it was a hit. And you have to have a talent. You have to do it first, or just not do that. Another old and well-known brand that loves collaborating with random Gen Z things just because they kind of want to play into that market and make a brand seem a bit more youthful is Coach. And oh my gosh, Coach collaborations are the worst. The brand itself is so nice. It's classy. Like, you can never go wrong with a just classic Coach bag, but the collaborations are just so bad. For example, they collaborated with Champion, and that's one of the vilest things I've ever seen in my life. And also they had that collaboration of Michael B. Jordan, Naruto, and Coach. And that's honestly, all my 13 reasons are just this collaboration. And it just feels like their brand manager just Googled what do Gen Zers like and put all of these things in one collaboration, just getting info from Google. A few other terrible ones came from Crocs, but Crocs, actually, controversial opinion, I think they can never go wrong because Crocs already, as comfortable as they are, they're ugly. They cannot go beyond ugly. There is nothing there. After that, it's just something vile, and it's very difficult to get into that category, you know. And they just keep collabing with random things like KFC, which kind of, like, I respect that. I can't say that I don't want that to exist or it doesn't seem logical to me. Like, Crocs and KFC collab is probably one of the most logical things I have seen in fashion recently. So yeah, I mean, why not? The same with Palace and Stella Artois. That was such a weird collab. It wasn't talked about. It just randomly appeared for like a few days and disappeared. But now it exists and you can buy it. Another high fashion collab that I definitely didn't see coming, and it was so bad. And I don't know why they did it. But it was Givenchy and Disney. It was Givenchy in their era of trying to appeal to the younger clients. And I mean, I have a whole separate video on Matthew Williams in Givenchy, and he does some good things, but sometimes it is just not it. And that collection was exactly not it. It was bad. It was given Disneyland merch, and it's a pity that it exists because it makes it very difficult for me to defend Matthew Williams at Givenchy, because I definitely do that a lot. But unfortunately, Disney and Givenchy collab is a thing. And I have actually quite like a long list of collabs here. And I'm not gonna go through all of it, but I think I would end with a few fast fashion collabs, which were absolutely random. And one is actually very recent. I think it was just a few days ago. It's Shein and Frida Kahlo. And I mean, I just know that Frida Kahlo would absolutely hate Shein if she was alive. So I don't know why they do this collab, but the collab that when I heard about it, I'm not gonna lie, like I screamed. I stood up from my chair and I gasped. I was so shocked that it exists. But actually it is a thing. And there is a whole photo shoot with cows and horses for that. And that's H&M and PETA. And it's just, how insane is that? What timeline is this where H&M, a fast fashion brand that does terrible things for the environment, it fuels fast fashion. It's one of those first brands that started fueling the fast fashion, and they collab with PETA as if they care about environment. So I think that was in my opinion, the worst fashion collab of all of them, because it's hypocritical. It probably shouldn't have existed. But talking about collabs, as I already mentioned before, why I think it's important to have this discussion sometimes, because unfortunately the fashion nowadays is no innovation. Nothing new comes out, and it's mainly just the recycled ideas over and over again. And even the collabs, they are brought in as an effort to bring something fresh to the brand, but they're just so lazily done, because there is no actual thought that goes into that. It's just a few logos plastered together, and it's basically just an overpriced merch. Whereas I feel like the collabs, they have so much wonderful potential to bring something fresh to the brand. For example, as I already told you, Louis Vuitton with Supreme, it was a long time ago, but it was such a brilliant, like unexpected thing to happen. And just because they were first, they were good. You can't say anything about it. And for example, the collaboration of Raf Simons and Sterling Ruby was fantastic, because it's just two friends working on a collection together. And I feel like that's kind of a dynamic that happens between Raf and Miuccia. Like I can tell that their collections are also probably a collaboration, because it's two designers with very independent and unique visions that come together and create something inherently new. So then, for example, like Junior Watanabe and Comme des Garçons, it is fresh. Back then it was fresh, it was new, and there was definitely a lot of artistic thought put into that. And I think that that's precisely what we're lacking in modern collabs. For example, even that chunky donkey shoes, they were, in my opinion, ugly, because I don't like that thing, but I understand why people like them, because they're just so hilarious and just memeable and cool looking. And I would love to see that on the streets. It was something very fresh and unexpected. So I really hope to see in the future from the brands a little bit more collaboration in terms of uniqueness, and a bit more interesting designs when it comes to collabs, not just two logos or 3 or 5 logos together on a bag or a jacket or a hoodie. And I definitely think that there is a lot of realm for exploration, and I hope that the brands tap into that in the future. But for today, thank you for staying with me, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely share your thoughts on the collabs, whether there are any of them that you liked or any of them that you hated. Let's just have that discussion in the comments down below, and I see you in the next video very, very soon. Bye.